Okay. Um, I know a lot of men don't pull their weight in the household. I know that, right? There's so many men who are not, good husbands, good fathers. They're not pulling their weight in the household. They're not doing anything, right? But I don't want to talk about those type of men. To be honest, like I don't want to talk about those type of men because I'm not that type of a man, right? And I want to talk about the men who are good providers, you know what I mean, who are doing their best to take care of their families and make sure that their families are happy, right? But unfortunately, those type of men, they're doing the bare minimum according to women. In women's eyes, they're doing the bare minimum. And that's a fact, bro. They're doing a bare minimum because uh those men are paying 80% of the bills, and they're still expected to do the house chores, even though they're paying 80% of the bills. So I just want to say this, ladies, you're wrong for that. You understand? Why is it not mental load when a man is taking almost all his paycheck to the household, but does bare minimum? Just because he's not doing the dishes, the cleaning, the laundry, and whatever, it doesn't mean it's bare minimum. You understand? It doesn't mean him, bringing home almost every penny of his income into the household to pay the bills, to make sure that everybody is happy, everybody has what they need, right? And it's bare minimum. It's not equal to cleaning and the cooking, taking care of the kids. You understand? That is not mental load for him to pay all the bills, even if it's not all the bills, but it's most of the bills. Because I can guarantee you, bro, like it's not nice, just to go to work and get a paycheck and then give it to people. And I understand, those people are your kids, are your wife, right? It's not like something that you'll be happy to, not to be, not let me not use the word happy, but something that you will do, like, without feeling like, that you're doing all this hard work and you're not getting any appreciation. Nobody's showing you appreciation. You understand? You would like to be appreciated somehow, right? So just like women, bro, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. It's the same thing. Men feel the same way, right? They feel like they want to be seen, they want to be heard, and their effort should be appreciated and reciprocated. You know what I mean? Like, just like the same way, like, women feel like, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing the dishes, I'm burned out and all that stuff, right? You women wants to be heard, and they want to be helped. It's the same thing. Men feel the same way. Like, they feel like, I'm going to work. You don't know how they treat me at work, right? That's the first thing. You don't know how they treat me at work. Just because I'm not showing you my weaknesses, I'm not coming home and crying and complaining about how they're treating me at work. I want to quit the job. It doesn't mean that I'm happy over there. And this idea that they tell women that men are getting the most out of a marriage than women. That's not true, bro. That's not true. If men were getting the most out of marriage, then women would have chose to be providers, bro. To be honest, they would have chose to be providers because women want men to play that role. It's not like men want to play that role, bro. Like, nobody wants to, like, spend the rest of his life in a corporate world climbing a corporate ladder. Nobody wants to do that, bro. Like, men have dreams too. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but like, nobody wants to live their life like that. Spend 30 years working for the same company, trying to climb the corporate ladder and get promotions and provide for his family. Nobody wants to live that life, bro. Yes, we want to provide for our families, but we don't want to, spend the rest of our lives, climbing that corporate ladder. You understand? But some men do it anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So why is it that not mental load that men, have to put their lives on the line? They have to provide. Why is it not a mental load for men to provide, bro? But it's a mental load for a woman to, be a homemaker, to be a wife and be a mother and take care of her husband and her kids, and and do the cleaning, the dishes, the what you call, the laundry, the cooking. Why is it that it's mental load? But when we, I know, like, that's something that the world don't want to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to talk about those things. They don't want to, you know, um, they don't want to, address those issues. You understand? Because it doesn't matter. Like what men are doing is actually bare minimum to women. Providing is bare minimum. I mean, in today's world, providing is bare minimum. Women are on social media, bro. They're complaining. They're saying, I'm doing everything. This man is not doing anything. He's just providing. He should help me with the dishes. He should help me with laundry. He should help me with the kids. I'm burnt out. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. And even if, because you are gonna be burnt out. Don't you think your husband is burnt out from waking up in the morning and taking all his paycheck and bringing it to the house? Like does it's not, isn't that slavery? Like, aren't you a slave for doing that? Why is it a slavery for women to take care of their husbands and take care of their kids and take care of the household? Why is it slavery? Why is it seen as slavery? But for a man to wake up every day and go to work and come back, and every month end, the end of the month or whatever, or payday, right? That man has to, give the money to the family. That money has to go to the household. Why is it not slavery when it's like that? You see the double standards, guys. And I don't support this kind of women who come on social media and say, I told my husband this. I told him I would leave him, if he doesn't do the dishes. Man, I think you ladies are full of shit. Specifically you ladies who come to the internet and say those things and tell other women that, it's wrong for to uh take care of your family. It's wrong. It's slavery to take care of your family. You should have time for yourself. You should have, and which is, there's nothing wrong with having time for yourself. But the message that these women are spreading, who are coming on social media and saying, my husband is helping me with the dishes. I made my husband to do all these things. I made my husband to help me with the dishes. I made my husband to do the cleaning. I told him I would leave him. That's a wrong message, bro. That's bullying. That's abuse. You know what I mean? And it's not supposed to be like that. It's not, bro. It's not supposed to be like that. If you really love your husband or you really love your wife, I mean, I'm sorry. If you really love your husband, or your boyfriend, you should be able to show them love. There's nothing wrong with showing love, bro. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with using, nurturing your nurturing skills, or your women's skills or your mother's skills to show appreciation. And even as a man, bro, there's nothing wrong with showing appreciation by buying gifts and paying for trips. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with doing those things. There's nothing wrong with doing those things. But if we're gonna sit here and it's everything is just gonna be one sided. You understand? It's just gonna be like, oh, what women do is harder than what men do. Like, I mean, why women don't want to be like, why is it that they don't want to be providers? Why do they want to keep this title of provider, or this role of provider, on a man? Why don't they shift it and put it on a woman? They're never gonna do that, bro. But anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's it. My name is RJ Godfella, and this is the RJ Godfella Chats. Now, if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. Peace. I'm out.